Alright, Shalom Akim.
Shalom.
As always, just to start off with, we say, Kah Halalim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kah Kodash. And also double honors to the greatness on the apostles, and Yaratazar, they also edified, and you exhorted from this video as well, man. And of course, to edify means to build up, and to exhort means to be encouraged too. Because, you know, just recently looking on the news, we've had the Paris riots, we've had the LA sedition, you know, which is really all of it goes into sedition among men. You know, we've had the LA ICE protests, you can call it, as well as I think some happening in Spain currently too, and some other ones too, like Ireland as well. They'll face some protests and riots. So all of this is really going hand in hand with prophecy, man. You know, yeah. One more point, Salah. Yeah, on that point, on because I was watching Elder Yashawamba this morning as well. He was also getting into it. You know, Ireland, Spain, LA, and Paris as well, man. You know, all of these riots just happening all at once. You know, all of this creates chaos, and instability, which would then allow Esau to then come in with his troops, man. Again, the formula as they go with it is a problem, reaction, and solution. That's the way Esau operates with these events, man. So you can bear your precept about
yeah, man. You know, Esau's thing is order ab chaos. Order out of chaos. You know, Esau doesn't have the solution for the problem. He has the problem for the solution. All right. So this is Romans 13 and 11. It says, "And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed." So yeah, we see these things happening, man. You know, the things that were written within the scriptures, all right, exactly how the end time prophecies will take place. You know, Isaiah 46 talks about what? Declaring the end from the beginning. All right, and we're now seeing the pieces of the puzzle fall into place, man.
Yeah, so, you know, on that point, I've got another precept here which I'm going to read on. So this is Matthew 24, because Matthew 24 is one of those major chapters that we have to have at the forefront of our minds, because those are the major signals of which we have to look for before Yahushua is coming. So, of course, you know, as well as all the riots that are happening right now, you know, you got the rumors of wars going on. You had obviously Russia and Ukraine, that came up from 2022. I think 2023 you had Hamas, you had Hezbollah, which are just, you know, two groups, Iranian groups, of whom are fighting against Israel as well. You know, not just that, you got Russia and Ukraine, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Israel. Then you also have China with Taiwan. You wanted to claiming the region there. You know, even with the fact that the Philippines right now don't want to get involved with China right now, man, because of the simple fact that, you know, they just want to keep the peace. And if they do get involved, it means that there'll be a proxy war that would happen. Which, by the way, a proxy war is when nations of whom didn't really start the fight then get involved. If I recall, you know what? Let me just get, because it involves third-party countries getting involved in war without actually directly fighting. But let me just get the definition quickly of a proxy war, because there's a lot of proxy wars going on.
What, a bit like what America with Russia and Ukraine? Yes,
that's a proxy war too. You know, because you know, Russia versus Ukraine. You know, let's say China also being in support of Russia, as well as North Korea. You know, Russia could be seen as a proxy for North Korea and China as well, man, because they're the ones supporting it. So in a proxy war, it says here, let me get a simple definition. So in the AI overview, it says proxy wars are armed conflicts where a major power indirectly, so power in terms of a country, indirectly supports one side of a conflict in another country, often through providing weapons, training, and funding without directly engaging in combat. So of course, USA providing help to Ukraine, as well as Russia, or actually North Korea. I remember with the 10,000 troops, they used that one as a tester to fight with Russia against Ukraine. You know, all of those proxy wars go hand in hand in scripture, man. So it says here in Matthew 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye must not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So it says, for nation shall rise against nation. You know, we see that right now. You know, Russia versus Ukraine, Israel versus Iran in terms of Hezbollah and Hamas as well. And as well as a future one you might ever see would be United States versus China as well, man. You know, because the United States wants resources from Taiwan too. You know, because Taiwan is also responsible, if I recall correctly, for semiconductor chips. So remember, with these semiconductor chips as well, those will be involved in really building the beast system, man. You know? So it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So those pestilences really goes into sicknesses and diseases, man. On that topic as well, the Yaratazar, that I'm gonna get an article on it, where there was actually a Moabite woman, and I think with her husband or something, they were talking on, not just talking, but rather they brought a pathogen, man, on the news. They called it, it's called agro-terrorism, and the Yaratazar, they don't take this down, but the point is, in agro-T, that's what I'm gonna say now, agro-T, it relates to agriculture, attacks on agriculture. Because they said the pathogens of which they used, they imported into America, those Moabites, were intended to really affect grain and other forms of plants as well, which are of course used for, or grain, corn, and I think there was a third one. But the point is, it's used to affect the plants, man, you know, the food intake. So then that also goes hand in hand with prophecy, because it says, yes, I'll read it again. So it says, for nation, Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, you know, as I said there. So obviously with these agro-Ts, you know, these Moabites sending pathogens to America, you know, their aim is to really diminish that food supply, man. And of course, not just, even on that topic as well, with the recent the riots and protests happening in LA right now. You know, Esau over there having a hustle too. Because I remember seeing as well, you know, not to go on a rant, you know, Esau was there, man, sending flags for whomever was in the protest. So, you know, Esau was on that hustle as well. So, you know, but anyways, going to the point, with all this riots and protests that are going on, this will then lead to further and further and deeper reinforcements, to the point where freedoms will be removed.
That's right.
You know, obviously if you want to say something, okay.
Can't, because you see, that's why we titled this video Esau's next mixtape, man. Yeah, because, you know, his whole thing is to bring all these events about, so that then ultimately he now becomes justified in coming down with them draconian measures, man. Because Esau's aware that a lot of people woke up to 2020. You know, a lot of people are aware that, you know, it wasn't as severe as it led on. And then it was even revealed that if you get the virus, you know, you pretty much have a mortality rate of, what was it, 99.9%?
That's fair.
All right, so it wasn't no, you know, worse than getting a common cold or flu or whatever. So Esau knows that if the world hears that we gonna get locked down over this thing again, man, you know, that ain't gonna work.
No.
But it's like, you know, that's why, what's that? Let me get this scripture real quick. This is Job chapter 5 and 12. It says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Because ultimately, you know, we see how Esau is shaping it to where now National Guard are being deployed. Already Trump's deployed them in LA in a great number. I believe in total, from the last time I checked, it was 5,000. You know, but then it's like, if I show you this article that I got here,
They got 700 Marines there as well, man.
There you go.
Apparently those guys don't fuck about.
Nah, man, and it's hard to become a Marine as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is locations of planned protests since Monday. All right, so now if you see, you can see that. You see those red dots? Those are all the different locations in which they have these planned protests, which is fairly scattered across the land of America. Soon enough, that's going to keep spreading like a wildfire.
Yeah.
And then what's going to have to happen next?
Martial law.
They're going to have to implement that martial law to get the people under control, Barakatha, because you know the people are operating in their own mind. I'll bring this out and then I'll hand it back to you. It says this is 2nd Esdras 15, and I'll start at 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Neither shall the course, the princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they don't care what the government has to say, man. The people are waking up to, you know, it doesn't matter which side you vote for, you're fucked. It's just about how you're going to be fucked. But either way, you're still fucked. So now people are just taking matters into their own hands. They don't care what the authorities have to say, man. But you see, with that kind of attitude, it justifies Esau, Edom to come down with the hammer. You got that?
Yeah, man. It's just as they say, you know, two sides to the same coin, man.
Right.
Two sides to the same coin. I'll try and get a precept on that. Let me see if I can get it very quickly. Hold on.
I got another one. Whilst you look for that, this is Matthew 10 and 34. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." All right, and that's red letter. Yahweh Shai speaking.
Yeah.
All right, because you got Christians out there, you got people out there that think, oh, so-called Jesus is coming in the name of peace. He's coming in peace. No, he said, "Think not I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." All right, and that is linked to end time prophecies, man. So if we're living in a society where, hey, nowadays, man, you step on a nigga's white Air Forces, and you could be before the throne that very next minute, man. You know, shit is cold out here. All right, but the Lord is bringing that sword. But that's another sign for us to look for, to understand that you know, as we read at the start, what was that, Romans 13 and 11? Now is the high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe, man.
Yeah. It's a whole lot nearer, man. All you gotta do is just observe things, and then, you know, with the Most High giving us the foresight, blessing us with Yahweh Shai blessing us with the foresight. Of course, this is why you gotta also see it as also the time of grace running out, man, where Israelites are not gonna have that chance anymore to know about the names Yahweh Shai, to really get right with Yahweh Shai, and actually grasp the opportunity to gain the salvation of Yahweh Shai as well. Yeah, so these are the signs of which are gonna come soon, man. I mean, these are the signals. These are the things of which Israelites are supposed to be looking out for, but they're not looking out for. They're not really sensitive in the spirit of Yahweh Shai to actually give reverence to them, so that they're actually in the good for Jacob's trouble, man.
Yeah, because you know Jake ain't operating in the spirit, man. You know, the Lord is trying to call onto them via his men. All right, but you see, because we're of the same complexion as them, or we come up in the same kind of area, they don't really want to listen to what we have to say.
Yeah.
All right, this is Proverbs 1 and 22, one of my favorites. It says, "How long, ye simple ones," you can get into it. This is Proverbs 1 and 22. "How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge."
Yeah, so when it mentions simple, you know, that really goes into someone of whom is ignorant or much rather stupid as well. It can mean that as well, you know, when you get into the root word. So of course, really, Israelites of whom are walking today, you know, can be regarded as simple ones because of how they're operating. They're not operating with the knowledge of, or really much rather the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. Which really the fear, as we know in Proverbs 1 and 7. Is
I can get that for you real quick. It's in the same chapter. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Yeah. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. And we get our wisdom, we get our instructions from the scriptures, man. Of course, obviously taught from up above, from our apostles and our elder brothers, man. You know, in order to be able to refine our reasoning process, because every Israelite, when they reason, they ought to reason with the scriptures in mind. Nowadays, when they reason with the worldly sense of reasoning, man, saying that how they're gonna really, you know, there's levels, man. There's levels to niggotry, really. You know, there's lower ones where it's like, all I gotta do is just get pleasure. You know, let me get my, you know, Air Forces and let me go shopping and do this. I gotta get my bread up and all that. You know, then you got the corporate niggas as well, of whom, you know, they may seem, you know, calmer, you know, on the surface, but at the end of the day, they also have their own agenda and they don't really consider Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. Even the so-called Christians, the Israelite Christians, which really Israelites are the real Christians, you know, the followers of Yahweh. You know, but really, all in all, they're worshipping idols, man. So they're in a zeal, but not according to knowledge. You know why? Because they ain't reasoning with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh in their mind. They're reasoning with so-called Jesus Christ or so-called Allah. You know, in Islam and Christianity, man. But yeah, so look, I was gonna get an article as well, you know, on that point. Actually, but also one more time, you know, Proverbs 1 and 22. That's the one.
You know what? There's a bit more though.
Yeah.
You know, so if I may, there's a couple of verses. 23. It says, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit onto you. I will make my words known unto you."
Yeah, so when it says turn you at my reproof, it means you gotta face that correction that the Most High's given you, man. But Israelites don't want to confront that correction of Yahweh Hashem Yeshua, because when they confront the correction of Yahweh Hashem Yeshua, it takes a lot, man. Because of course, as we know, when we first started off in this truth, we realized, yep, you can't eat pork no more, no bacon, no more of those, you know, deep fried foods, man.
And let me tell you
how hard it is,
bro,
for certain brothers.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, I'm gonna say this because I'm a changed man now. But you see, I was a BLT advocate, man.
Yeah, that was the typical sandwich back in secondary school.
Listen, man, you know, got me reminiscing. You know, hey, you know, you get that meal deal BLT, man, and
yeah, I remember.
the way the bacon and the tomato and all of that, man. You know,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, you come in the truth, and you learn that you can't eat that shit, man.
Yeah.
So you drop it, and then you also what I don't what I find funny with Jake is they think, oh, the Most High just told you not to eat certain foods or certain animals just because. No, it's not just because, man. The Heavenly Father knows that certain things are unclean unto you, and then you know you want to go about doing your own will, and you wonder why you fucked up, man.
Yeah. Even on that point as well, you know, if Jake actually did a diligent search as well, just like Esau Edom, you know, his older brother, because, you know, back to Genesis 25. But the point is, if they actually did some searching up, especially on snails, for example, especially on snails, if you put snails in some kind of a mini aquarium, you know, where fish are, the snails actually help to clean up that place, man. So these are just an example of a cleaner as well. As well as that, prawns also help to clean up the seabed as well, man. You know, they normally, there's a documentary or a mini video on YouTube, you search it up on the roles of prawns. You know, the reason why I keep doing this motion, because that's literally the motion that they use to gather up the little particles and then they eat them up, man. So technically, you know, if for people eating prawns right now, they're eating microplastics as well, because you remember that's in the sea, that's in the ocean, you know, and the prawns are there. They're eating microplastics and whatever bullshit that the prawn was cleaning up, man. You know, because these are cleaners, man. You know, prawns, you got snails, even the swine as well. They're pretty much cleaners of the earth. You know, because there's actually a video of a guy.
Local dustbin.
Huh?
That's your local dustbin.
Yeah, that's literally it. Because there was a guy who had a farm, and then he had an experiment to show on a YouTube video where.
I know which video you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely shirtless, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So yeah, there was a guy. Many brothers have seen this video where he actually dropped rotten food and also dead fish, rotten fish for the pigs, man. He said sometimes the pigs even flipping, you know, roll around in it because they're happy to eat that type of stuff. He gave them the grain, the vegetable stuff as well, but they didn't want to eat that as soon as they saw the rotten food. So these are cleaners, man. The Most High didn't want us to eat something that's cleaning the earth.
Well, that's the scriptures, though, man. Let's get that real quick. That's in Romans 9.
Cool. Let me get another precept on that.
Fine. You know, everything has its use, man. The Lord creates things for, you know, its particular use, and all we have to do is adhere to it, man.
Yeah, swine don't. I think they don't sweat, you know.
No, I thought I wanted to say, but they don't have sweat glands, man.
Go
so all of that bullshit that they eat, you know, they don't really have a way of how they, you know, detox from it. All right, but you want to get your pork ribs, your pork chops, or hey man, this manager that I used to have in my old gig, he'd come through and he'd warm up pork belly, man, and that shit used to stink. You know, and he'd just be there just enjoying it, man. All right, but this is Romans 9 and 20. It says, "Neighbor, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed to him that formed it? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?" You know, so because you was talking about with the pig, how the guy in that video, he tried to put, you know, good stuff, vegetables and things of that nature for the pig to eat, and the pig didn't want it. It wanted the filth, you know. but the pig ain't gonna ask the Lord, why hast thou made me thus? That's just how he's created, how the pig's been created. And then we've then just been given a commandment not to eat it. So we don't debate that. We don't argue that. We just don't eat it. We don't get pepperoni on our pizzas, man.
No.
When we go to the cafe and they serve sausage, we make sure it's chicken, we make sure it's beef.
We gotta ask, man, and you shall receive.
And you gotta read the back of them labels sometimes, man. Because I was in Tesco the other day and I almost bought some Scotch eggs. I ain't had those in years, but the Spirit told me, look at the back. And then I saw the back, it said pork 33% or some shit. I had to put it down, man.
See?
You gotta read them labels, man.
Yeah, and you know, back in the day, you would eat those things in ignorance. I actually remember Scotch eggs, man. But then, as you enter into the truth, you become more diligent with looking at the back of the labels of these foods, man, so that you don't go eating bullshit.
Come on.
You know, so, you know, the point is, in this truth, we are taught to do better, man. You know, as we reason with the scriptures. So even on that point, to support that, this is Deuteronomy 14 and verse 8. It says, "And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses." Man. You know, so really, we're not even supposed to even touch the dead version of a pig. You know, also. But the point is, you can't eat it, you can't touch it. You know, nevertheless of it being dead. And by the way, just to break it down even more as well, cud is when cud is pre-digested food which can be eaten again. I think cows also have this as well, like either second or third stomach. I don't know how many stomachs they have, but the point is they have pre-digested food, then goes back to the mouth, and they chew it a bit more than it goes back in. So that's what the scriptures mean by it cheweth not the cud. You know, so that's the point on swine, man. Jake ain't ready to flipping start reasoning with the scriptures, which is why we brought that out, man. But I've got another precept here. This is Revelation 13 and verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Those 2 horns are talking about the 2 sides of America, man, which they divide people. Democrats and the Republicans, man. You know, it's the same thing with the Roman Empire where they had the
plebeians and the patricians.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just two parties, two horns that are against each other, but those two horns are part of the same flipping beast, man, which is America. Well, of course, in that concept, it said another beast, you know, because that Revelation 13 breakdown, you know, the beast system really is going into the EU and the NATO, but this one right here where it says the two horns, that's referring to America, the Democrats and the Republicans, man. So all in all, that's just part of the vision. You try and make people to have to identify with certain things. Then if something goes in contrast to their identity, that's what would then provoke them to have a response. You know, again, problem, reaction, solution, man. You know, so Esau's trying to provoke people with these riots, with these deportations, and Issachar over there is getting real angry, man. He's getting real angry over there. So it's all going part and part in the scriptures, man, ultimately. So anyways, oh yeah, I was talking on agro tea, which, you know, the pathogens used to affect plants. And let me just read the article. So it says it in so BBC News. It says Chinese nationals accused of smuggling dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. And this is the article which I'm reading right now. The BBC News. Just type up China bringing pathogens to America and news, and you're going to see the article. So BBC News, it was uploaded 3rd June 2025. It says here, two Chinese nationals have been accused of smuggling a fungus into the US that officials describe as a dangerous biological pathogen. You know, so Ma wants to do a part 2, man. Ma wants to do a part 2. So Yu Qing Jian, 33, and Zhu Yong Lu, 34, have been charged with conspiracy, which conspiracy just means evil plan. You know, conspiracy theory means it's an evil plan that, of course, one is in search for evidence for. You know, so it says here, have been charged with conspiracy, an evil plan, smuggling goods, false statements, and visa fraud. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Michigan announced on Tuesday. So, compliant alleges Mr. Liu tried to smuggle the fungus through Detroit Airport so he could study it at a University of Michigan laboratory where his girlfriend, Mr. Jian, worked. You know, so these guys were a couple, man. And it says that the fungus called Fusarium graminearum can cause a disease in wheat, barley, maize, rice, and can wipe out crops that lead to vomiting and liver damage if it gets into food, man. So again, more is getting deeper into that biological warfare.
As if the Chinese food weren't killing people already, man.
It's true. It's true. So you know, Ma was a sneaky guy, man. Yeah, but they're funny though. I can't lie, they're funny. But anyways, besides the point is that Moab is getting deep into that biological warfare now, the pathogens. As it read here, it says it's able to affect wheat, barley, maize, and rice. Remember, wheat and barley, they can be used to make bread, and many people eat bread, man. You know, and also some other foods of which you can use wheat to create as well. Many people eat rice as well. Yeah, it says that can wipe out crops and lead to vomiting and liver damage, and if it gets into food, man. And you know, one of the functions I remember for the liver is also to produce bile, which it helps with I think managing fat, if I recall correctly. But the point is the organ's important, man. So imagine having liver damage and just vomiting, having that diarrhea. You know, that would then provoke fear, and after provoking fear, they're gonna say, okay, you know, you gotta take this juice now. You gotta take the juice now, and then, you know, it's a wrap from there. Chaos.
Take the juice. You gotta take the MOTB.
That's it.
You know, because they're going to push that notion of how this virus can spread through the cash. You know, they still got to phase out the cash. You've got to get with the times. You know, I think they even got a program in America where it's like, if you're homeless and you don't have a phone, you can actually go somewhere and they will give you a phone, man, and not no Nokia. They'll give you a smartphone, man.
Wow.
You know, so as much as you know that it would cost to get the C hit, you know, implemented on a global scale, they're going to be willing to do it, man, for the sake of control. All right, but I got a quick precept just based off what you was bringing out. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 10. It says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt," which, you know, modern day Egypt would be America. Yeah. All right, which is you know, the modern day house of bondage for the Israelites predominantly. You know, because you do have Israelites scattered across the four corners. Yeah. For example, we're here in the UK. All right, but reading on, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." So that's balance right there, you know, because the Lord is going to bring his elect with a mighty hand, his stretched out arm, but then at the same time he's going to smite Egypt, modern day Egypt being America, with those plagues, as you said, with the China pathogens, right, being imported into Detroit airport, you know, in order to what they say is to examine in the lab, you know, in the university, but of course, somehow it's going to break out, you know, just like the Wuhan thing back in 2020. You know, Ma wants to do a part 2, man. So I really, all of this, considering how Esau Edom is, it's all part of that, you know, next mixtape, man. Imagine riots happening, and in the midst of that, it's like on the news you hear a new pathogen is out, which affects these certain foods, man. Look, you see, and this is how Esau gets you, because now you're gonna have the people thinking we need some kind of law and order now. We need the government to take control of the situation because we thought we could do it ourselves. Now we're fucked. And then that's where Esau is like, aha, got you. I got you, man. You know? now it's gonna be, if you want things to go back to normal, if you want some kind of civilization, you got to put this thing in your hand. You got to put this thing in your forehead. You got to take this thing in your arms. You know? That's why, hey, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. Because the you know, the one thing when it comes to this devil is that he's not unique. His whole thing is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So it's like, if you know what he's done before, it's very easy to tell what he's going to do in the future. Alright, because he don't change the method, man. Okay? Yeah, man. So, oh, God, I almost forgot the piece I was about to get. But part of Esau's next mixtape, it may not even just be one track, man. It could be many tracks in one. It could be a whole album, man. You know, where, you know, you got famine. You got famine happening on one side. That's track 1. Yeah. Second one with the riots, your National Guard restrictions. Track 2. Yeah, and if you want to know an insight into that, you know, there's a movie, I think it's on Amazon Prime, called Songbird, man. You know, they based it on Cove 23, which obviously is reference to what was happening during 2020, 2021, 2022. You know, with the juice, man, with all that demic. You go use cold words. You know, so that could be then part 3 or part 2. And then another one could be the internet blackout as well, man. That could be something too. That's when you really gonna feel the famine of the word, man. Because, you know, with Esau as well, what he could do, considering the technocracy that's happening right now, they're saying that I remember Elder Yeshua video that as this ICE and protests are happening, they're putting laws into legislation. I mean, they're putting laws into place in order to allow or prevent the intervention of the government into a certain AI technology, man. So they want to let AI technology go loose. And obviously we know that, you know, demons could also take hold of this technology too, man. And remember, it's artificial intelligence. So it's a lower level, but at the same time, if the Most High wills it, you know, he would then he will allow demons to actually get into this technology. That's why, you know, I'm gonna get this one. But this is why Esau has to be destroyed, man. Yeah. Because when you get into the scriptures, you know, it tells you what in Matthew 24, around about the 22nd verse, that if the Lord didn't speed up the times and didn't send back his son, then there should be no flesh left to be saved. So Esau is like, that child, you know, that managed to escape the confinements of the chair that you know, they were strapped in, and then the child's managed to break out of it, and he's just running loose doing his thing. What's gonna come of that child? Not anything good, because you know, they're still a child, and you know, they don't really know what they're doing. But it's the same thing with Esau. You know, you got Esau out here, he's trying to open up portals, man, with that CERN stuff.
Yep.
You know, he figured out that he can manipulate the weather now. You had China trying to create either they're trying to create or they're trying to block out the sun or some shit, man.
Oh yeah. Come on.
I think they were trying to create an artificial sun.
Oh,
right? Like all this shit, man. It's just like just children walking around unrestrained, man. That's why when you read Psalms chapter 2, it tells you how the Most High, he's going to laugh at them, man, and he's going to have them in derision, because ultimately their plans are going to fail.
That's it, man. You know, this is why they're going to fail, man, because the Most High has put nature into, he's programmed the nature of Esau Edom. Just because, you know, he's risen up now from the Renaissance period and is able to rule over Jake right now, doesn't mean that it's going to be forever, man. Because remember, this is Esau's nature. So this is what I'm about to read is Esau's nature. So Job 30 and 8, it says, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
Damn.
And the Most High is going to reduce Esau Edom to that state, man, because we know in Isaiah 14 also mentions about Esau Edom, the nations being shocked because is this the man? In fact, let me just even get just to clarify that point, man.
Yeah,
so
man.
they're children of fools. How can a fool be put into rulership for a long time?
And then it said that they're base men. You got the basest of men ruling over all the nations, man.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Most High's will.
The Most High's will.
Right, so this is Isaiah 14, and get to the point. Verse 16, that they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. You know, they're gonna be given that side eye. And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Now, how do you think he's gonna make the earth tremble? With his technology, AI, so the displacement of the jobs, of course, famines, artificial famines that are caused by, you know, Esau's technology as well.
His weaponry, his bombs, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That as well, you see. You know, nuclear missiles, the projectiles, the artificial wars, which, you know, they're intended to happen, you know, so that Esau could push that beast system, man. You know, so all of that is how Esau Edom will shake the kingdoms, man, will make the earth tremble as well. So that's just that point there. But remember, they're children of fools, man. Now let me get this one too, because you know, we're talking about what's happening right now. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2. It says, you know, hold on. Start from verse 1. Isaiah 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. And that's referring to a chariot. And when Yahushua comes, he's going to come with thousands of chariots. And it says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Speaking of idols as well, they're trying to make an AI god, man. You know, there was conversation on this, on the fact that if AI comes to the point of being ASI, which is artificial super intelligence, that's when Esau he's going to be a donut case, man. So he's created his own destruction at that point. But what they're actually trying to do, they're trying to have AI to be the one to rule the laws and to be the government. They're trying to have AI to be the fundamental of this government, man. It could even be said that AI may even be used as the core part of the beast system. They're trying to use it as like the Urim and the Thummim, man. Yeah. You know, asks it to do one thing, then it does it. It's far more efficient. Now, don't get me wrong, but it depends on the intent of the individual. Because Esau's wicked, so of course he trains it on the wickedness. You know, and also he has if the intent was the user for example, Jake using it, it would be in righteousness, and it would give righteous data, man. That's really a form that Esau's given to people to deal with spirits in a way, you know, especially demons as well. Because demon just means intelligent at the end of the day. So, where was I? Yeah, verse 2, Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And modern day Egypt is America, by the way, just to clarify. You know, that's where the 12 tribes are there, and they've been oppressed there. The northern tribe, southern tribe, and they've gone through their history, man. So it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, man. So really, them rats, man. You know what it reminded me of? Civil War.
Ooh.
Civil War, man.
Yeah, man. You can't try to bust that I from Hong Kong, man.
No.
No.
Yeah, if you want to speak on that, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, you know, when you read that scripture, you made me want to grab
Egyptian against Egyptian.
Yeah. Let me get it.
As you're getting it. So it says Isaiah 19:2, and I will set Egyptians against Egyptians. And actually, in the movie Civil War as well, they were literally you could liken as race wars as well. You know, Edomites on one side, Jake's probably fighting those Edomites.
You're gonna have to pick a side, man.
What kind of American are you?
Yeah, man.
You know. Then you know this more about looking dude, which is probably a Jake anyways. He said that I'm from Hong Kong.
Wrong answer.
You know, that's the way it sounded though initially. But I saw a clip. He actually said I'm from Hong Kong, but it sounded so funny because it
he was stuttering.
Yeah. We thought that he skipped some word. He said I'm from Hong Kong. You know how more speaks, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and those were his last words, man.
Come on, that was the funniest moment of that movie, man. So there's going to be a lot of things happening. And we're getting close to that time as well, man. You know, the MAGA movement, the ones the redneck Edomites, they're going to be on one side. They're going to start, you know, preparing their guns, getting to the shooting ranges.
And this is the thing, though. I'm glad you said that because Esau's been preparing, bro. Yeah, Esau, they've been going. You know, their little private neighborhoods. They go to certain events, certain underground places, and they're at the shooting range. They're learning combat. You know, they're building their little what do they call it? Bug out shelter.
Oh yeah.
You know, all of that. What's Jake doing, man? Jake is just
oblivious at the end of the day.
Not with it at all.
Don't care about nothing.
Not with it, man. So a lot of these Israelites are gonna get caught with their pants down, man.
Which really Jake is supposed to be preparing more so spiritually to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because in that day, when Edomites are, you know, preparing physically, you know, to get food and whatnot, you know, in that day, the food that's prepped down is really for the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So Jake that are right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they're going to be cool in that day, man. You know, we can probably get a few pieces like that. Job 5.
Yeah, I'm going to get Isaiah 59, man, because, you know, ultimately, the Lord is going to lift up that standard, man.
Yeah. So,
you know, the weapons of our warfare are spiritual and not carnal. I told you that in, I think, 2 Corinthians 10, around about the 5th verse. Isaiah 59:19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up the standard against him. So for the elect are going to be okay. You know, it says in Isaiah 33:6 how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, man. The fear of the Lord is going to be this, you know, our treasure, man, and strength of salvation. You know, these people out here are going to look at the elect and they're going to know that they're on a completely different agenda, man. Completely different timing. They got the Heavenly Father, right, with them. Just like how we read the accounts in the scriptures, man. When the Lord was with us, man, there wasn't anyone that could stand in our way, man. The Lord had man like Goliath taken out by little Pitney, little David at the time. He was but a stripling. Those are the kind of things that happen when the Lord is on our side, man. What did King David say in Psalms 118? He said, I will not fear what man can do unto me.
That's it.
For the Lord is on my side, man.
Yeah.
Alright? So as long as we've got the Lord on our side, we all these riots that we see, the food being tampered with, the talk of famines and that. We've got the accounts. Romans 15:4. They're all written for our learning.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a power that made manna fall from heaven, man, to feed his people, man.
Yeah.
And you want stress because they're killing the crops, man. Fuck their crops, man. We tired of this GMO shit anyway, man.
Exactly.
Drinking water out of plastic bottles, man. We're done with it, man. Let the Lord deal with us, man.
He's gonna give us some good, nourishing food in that time, man. And nevertheless, anyways, all it takes is really faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, prayer to bless the food, in that time. And then we're gonna be good anyways, man. Let's say, brother, being a pilgrim on earth, also directing him from certain directions, say, okay, go here, go there, go here, go there, go here, go there. They're being a pilgrim upon the earth. They could just literally be walking and then discover a house that has a whole lot of food, man. That's only one aspect of many ways that the Most High can provide food. He can give you spiritual power to create food out of nothing. That's also one thing. There's also another one where you could be literally just walking and then you look back, the Spirit just tells you, Rakhat Kodash, the Holy Spirit just tells you, okay, look back now. And the angel just drops some food for you, man. Cake, flipping watermelon.
Did that happen with
peanuts? Well,
is it Habakkuk or Jeremiah?
One of those.
There's an account in the Apocrypha, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's
the angel grabbed him by his hair or something.
What, Bell and the Dragon?
I think it's in Bell and the Dragon.
Yeah, that one's like with force, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Bell and the Dragon. It's Bell and the Dragon. But
those things gonna be happening, man.
Angels coming through, through the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Messiah. So really, at the end of the day, as our faith increases, the fear of the world decreases drastically,
Yeah, brothers talk about cashing out, like when we do this work, you depositing into your spiritual bank account, but then there's gonna come the time to where we cash out,
man.
And that time, the beginning of us cashing out is the beginning of the world's tribulation.
Yes,
that's when the elect are gonna cash out, man.
That's when you're going to see Jay.
Imagine that. No, so like, imagine
it's
that. We go through hell. We have our little whatever. We worry about money and all of that. Yeah. But Proverbs 11 says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. So even though we've got pounds, euros, dollars, right? The real currency was really our righteousness, man.
Yeah,
faith. That was always the real currency, okay? And we're gonna finally cash out in a currency that will be valid.
You can't steal it either,
man. Because pounds ain't gonna be valid then, euros ain't gonna be valid, dollars ain't gonna be valid, Bitcoin ain't gonna be valid.
All of it. Yeah.
Righteousness is gonna be the medium of exchange, man. Okay, your works, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So that's why we got to stack up on the works, man. Because we want to cash out in that day. I want to have spiritual power, Lord willing, man.
Go on.
I want to have my hand in this world's destruction. Daniel 7, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, man. But that's why we got to remember our first love, man. We see it happening. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. It ain't even speaking, bro. It's shouting, man.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. All you gotta do is open your eyes, look at the news, and put two things together.
The news.
Scripture, and you be able to see these things, man. But of course, let Jake, as
lazy, man.
Yeah, as it says in Hosea 5:15. In the affliction they will seek me. So when Jake is in trouble, that's when they're gonna say,
help me.
The funny thing is that you're gonna have them calling on Jesus Christ, Allah on that day, but
you gonna have Jake calling on Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
That too.
It tells you that in Matthew 7:21.
Yeah. Even though they say that, Lord, Yahushua, Yahweh ain't gonna be seeing that. He's gonna be Yahweh Shimon is gonna be looking at the men of whom, of course, are committed to serving them, man. Yeah, and of course, he'll give them the spirit to also endure to the end as well. So, anyways, on that point, on Yahweh helping us, this is Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is when the mark of the beast is going to be there, the MOTB, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So it says in verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, man. So, we envision and we also work in hope to gain in that crown, man, that's Yahweh telling us, keep that crown, man, keep that crown, because obviously Yaratazar, we've been given an opportunity. So Yaratazar, we also have the endurance to endure to the end, to the point of salvation. We're gonna claim our crowns, man. Bro was having dreams on the crowning ceremony a few years back. So all of that will happen, and we have faith in it happening as well, man.
Praise that.
Yeah, come on.
When you read that, you got to read Revelation 2 right off the back of that, man.
Oh.
Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Because people want to look at us like, why would you do this? Why would you put your life on the line? Why would you sacrifice your life to go scream at some guys in the rain, talk about some book that was written thousands of years ago? But it is more than that, man. Yeah, man. One thing my mom actually said to me is that the Bible is the most present book.
Wait, what do you mean by present?
As in, like, it's the most up-to-date book.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You got all these new books written, but the Bible is still the most up-to-date book.
Yeah. Because
everything is playing out according to what's written within the Bible.
That's it, man. That's it.
All right? So, some of us are going to be cast into prison. Some of us are going to die.
Pilgrims.
All right? But it says to be faithful unto death, and we're going to be given that crown of life, man.
Yeah. So
that's what makes it all worth it. You got what's that in 2nd Esdras 2? It speaks of the crowning ceremony, man.
Yeah. So when you're ready, though.
Oh no, you go it, bro.
Yeah, just a quick one, on the point on us maintaining faith. Well, typically what Esau loves to do is threaten the necessities of the people, food, shelter, and of course any sense of security. He tries to threaten that, man. That's why using famines, using pestilences, using obviously removing people from their houses, that's all going to be used in the time of the MOTB. I remember there was a time, I don't know what country this was, but there was like an article saying about passports being revoked because of people not taking the juice. I don't know what country that was, but that was a severe thing to go through, man, for whoever was from that country. If I recall the country, I'll say it, but I forgot the country, man. I don't know if it was Canada or some state in America.
And that's how you know, man, that the majority of the world are going to take the MOTB, man. Because you go back to 2020, bro. You had guys that were adamant that they ain't taking that juice. Yeah. The moment they couldn't go to that club, they couldn't catch that flight no more. Then it was rolling up the sleeves. They went from I ain't doing that. Government trying to kill us. Then it's that's some bullshit, man. So it's like all the government has to do, because at first they won't make it mandatory. They'll be like, no, you don't have to take it. You don't have to. I mean, you just won't be able to, pay your rent, work a job, buy food, water. You pretty much won't be able to do anything, but it's your choice. So you really don't have a fucking choice.
No, you don't. So that's when integrity will be tested. which integrity goes into strong moral principles. Faith is going to be tested as well. But of course, those of us who have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will be the ones who will win in that time to come, man. In that day, and see Jake with that spiritual power, they're going to be thinking, why didn't I listen? They're going to be thinking that, man. So anyways, Job 5, I'm going to start from verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Remember, it says no evil shall touch thee, man. We've got to believe in these scriptures, man, that Yahweh Hashem will protect us and preserve us in those times. Nevertheless, we'll be in prison, even if you get exported to another prison in another country. Nevertheless, the Most High is going to protect us and preserve us, man.
You know, can I just add to what you're saying real quick? We got to adopt that ancient mindset, man. We got to adopt the mindset of our forefathers, man. You know, when you read like in the book of Acts, you know, they was happy. You know, the apostles were happy to be counted worthy to suffer for his name's sake, man.
That's it, man.
That's the same attitude we got to have. Is that, hey, man, we're honored to be the ones to have been called to suffer for his name's sake. Not, you know, go suffer for your house. Nah, man. We have to change our attitude towards suffering, man.
Take it cheerfully.
It's a right too.
Yeah. So, just bear with me, hold on. Yeah, Job 5, verse 20 now. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death. You know what that means? We ain't gonna die from hunger, man. No matter how many days that the Most High has us fast for, it's cool. Each brother with their portion. He's gonna test us. The point is, we're still gonna eat. We're not gonna die from hunger, man.
And I'm glad you said that, man.
Yeah, that's faith. Yeah,
because remember, our faith is gonna be tested right up until the very end. That's why, you know, what's that? 1 Peter 4 says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? And as you just said, just about. So you know you're about to get in a situation. Let's say, God forbid, you got a lorry coming right at us, and you're bracing for impact. You know, so what will happen is naturally you might close your eyes like, because you don't want to see it, right? But then, you know, you realize, wait, hold on a minute. You open your eyes and you know, the Lord can have it where you somewhere else, or you know, the lorry managed to stop or whatever. But the point is that you were scarcely saved. Because basically the Lord is gonna have it to where we're at the point of, all right, cool. If this is how the Lord says I'm going out, this is how I go out, and then you ain't gonna go out.
Yeah, literally. On the guillotines, as soon as the blade was about to touch your neck, time could just pause. And then from that moment, you then realize you got spiritual power, man. And all it takes is for the Most High, for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to then guide your hands in that spiritual power. You're going to annihilate that prison, man. So don't say that's not going to be a scenario. That could easily be a scenario. But however, there's also the fact that some of us will feel the lot of we will have to die. Yes, accept it. That's it. But then even with that, is that, but you're going to be raised up first. Yeah, true. You're going to be returning with the Lord. Yeah, man. You're going to be in them chariots first. Man. So it's like, either way, it's a win-win situation, man. Because we barely living, bro. We ain't really living, man. How Jake lives is not living. You always constantly, you worried about bills, you worried about this, you worried you might get kicked out, you're home the next day. We're not living, bro. This ain't life, man. You know, you hear it is, if you don't bust your ass at the job, you can't keep the lights on, man. There's Edomites that will go on sabbaticals, man. They won't work for 6 months, and they will go to another. Hey, man, in my old job, one of the Edomites that he worked up, you know, he was in a high above position. He went on sabbatical leave for 6 months. Damn. He didn't work for 6 months, bro. If I didn't work for a month, bro, my situation would be very different. Okay, he didn't work for 6 months. He went to a foreign land. I forget where he went. All right, found the love of his life and came back and got married, man. You tell me what Jake that's happening to. This is why, you know, the scriptures talk about, you know, Micah 2:10, this ain't your rest, man.
So what are you really missing out on?
Nothing really.
That's the attitude we've got to have. So,
yeah. So, you know, all in all, the signs that are happening right now is very, 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 very good signs, because it means Yahushua is very close. You know, once that MOTB hits, man, you just know, okay, it's time to finish the last part of the race, man. You know, obviously for those of us who've had sports day back in secondary school as well, you know, that last part of the race, you give it your all, you know, to win that race, man. That 100-meter dash, or 200-meter, 400-meter, 800-meter run, man, or whatever. You gotta give your all at that time, man. Because, you know, at the end of the day, when the final word hits, that's really a wrap, man. That's really a wrap. You know, so we gotta give it what we can now, Yaratazah, through He who gives us strength, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we keep going, man. So Job 5 and verse 20 again, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So we be protected from all these guns and warfare and civil wars. We ain't got to worry about that. Of course, don't move loosely, move with wisdom, but we ain't got to worry about dying from those things anyways. We really don't even have to worry about anything, because we got Yahweh Shem Yahushai who orchestrates the whole thing anyways. So whatever position the brother is in, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the Most High Yahweh and Yahushai, they're watching us and guiding us and protecting us. Can't forget the hedge of angels as well. So verse 21, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, you know, and even it says, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So when it says scourge of the tongue, we got to break it down, man, because we have this AI that's called VO3. The next level was well, they first started with AI with pictures and videos, you know, images, then pictures and videos. And then from videos that can't talk, now we've got videos that can talk. You know, all this data that they're feeding it, because AI, you know, that's why they call it another form of AI, or prior to processing AI, it needs to learn. That's called machine learning. So you give it the data, which is really just a whole bunch of images or a whole bunch of videos, then it learns from that to recreate something. You know, so from that, the reason why I'm saying this, because I read thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, because Esau Edom is going to put false accusation upon brothers, man. And this technology today, it could definitely happen, man. Because with VO3, all it takes is to have a prompt of a certain person, of a certain man saying something, and then it will make it look very real. Now, of course, those who are strong in the spirit as well will be able to discern, in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, will be able to discern that it's not real. Obviously, there's no life to that content. So, point is, that technology could be used to falsely accuse us, man, in that time. I remember, all it takes is for Esau to download all our videos, put it into the AI machine learning algorithm, and then that's going to be used to produce false accusations, false videos for us.
I don't say it can't happen, man. Because we done seen, you know, Esau, he the way he prophesies is through his movies, his video games, all those Netflix shows and that. We done seen enough shows showing that, you know, Esau can just... when that comes to mind, there's Prison Break, man. Oh, if I was to watch Prison Break, you know, the way they frame, what was his brother? So you had Michael Scott, Michael Schofield, and he had Dominic, his older brother Dominic, I believe it was, and he was in jail. He was really gonna, he was on death row, and they actually tweaked the camera footage to make him look like he was the murderer.
Damn, man.
And this Prison Break came out in 2005. That's 20 years ago, man. Now with the advancement of deep fake and AI and all of that, man, they can have us saying anything, man. They already did that. You know, you had certain skits of
Will Smith?
You know, certain celebrity like rappers and that and singers and whatnot. They was, you know, they had them singing some other shit that they never sung, and some of them were reporting on Twitter. It was called Twitter at the time. Like, bro, like, you know, shit getting crazy.
Yeah.
So what more us? I got a quick precept on that, if I may.
Go on.
Revelation 12 and 10. You can get into it.
Right.
It's, you know, just add to what you're saying. Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night.
Yeah, man. The accuser of our brethren, man. That's referred to Esau, Edom, man. You know, all these false accusations, you know, that be happening. Esau will be cast down for every action that is taken against Jacob, man. And you know, in the kingdom, we're going to rinse it. We're going to rinse that punishment that Yahweh Shem Shai will put in our hands in a silver platter. I would even say silver, in a golden platter, man. You know, for us to be able to punish Esau, Edom. Especially with all the things that he's done in the past to Israel, southern tribe, northern tribe. You know, right now, you know, I was making a few videos on Native American Indian history, where I was talking about during the gold rush as well. You know, recently, that's when Esau, Edom was actually using guns in order to get to the natives, man. You know, to kill the natives. You know, they were chasing them. You know, during the time where they were, I think it was 1586 or something like that, if I'm recalling correctly. But nevertheless, during that time period of the Native American Indians being there, and also the colonies being established, you know, Esau was doing hunting, man. Again, you know, specifically that time period was the gold rush, man. Not just that, that was Edomites from Britain coming there, as well as the Spaniards as well. And so that's just the Native American Indians, aka Gad. You know, obviously you got the slave trade as well, the transatlantic slave trade. So the point, all of this that Esau has all
these crimes he's committed.
Yes. He will be punished immensely in the kingdom, man. And you know, they're not gonna take it as good as we took it, man.
But they ain't built like that.
Yeah, they're not built like us, man. I don't know if there was a rapper that said that, but I feel as though there was. But anyways, they're not built like us, man. That's the point. Most High made Israel to be resilient. Remember Genesis 25, where it says one nation shall be stronger than the other. You know?
Bruv, Jake make hell look good. You know, we make hell look cool. Let's be honest, man.
It's true.
The nations want to be us, but at the same time, they don't want to be us. Hey, man, in school, you had a struggle contest. Who's struggling the most? Whose life's the hardest? You got one man talking about how he had to have noodles for dinner. You got another man talking about they have to light the house with candles. You got another man talking about he don't have cereal, he eats water and ice cubes. You know? Jake make the struggle look cool.
It's true. Oh my days, that's unfortunate, man. Comparing flipping.
We're the salt of the earth, man. We can't help it. We can't help it. Everything we do, it just got flavour, man.
Yeah.
No matter what. Man, imagine if those same people were the ones in rulership, man.
You're gonna see it, man. It's gonna be a reality. The same way you people of today have registered that, okay, you know, Esau's over here, all the other heathen nations are here, and you got Jacob over here. The same way they register that in their mind, the new reality would be, you got the powers, which are Israelites, over here. You know, you can't even see my hand in the camera, man, because that's the level that we're going to be on. Remember, as the scripture said, I mean, how Shah said it, man, ye are gods, you know. So
he confirmed that in what was it, John 10 and 34. He said, is it not written in your law that ye are gods?
Come. Which one of you, by taking thought, can add to 1 cubit to his stature?
Come on, man.
We'll be able to manipulate height, all forms of spiritual power, man. And remember, it's going to happen on this side as well because of Jacob's trouble. So people going to bug out, man. When you see an Israelite, man, you know, one of the prophets that warned you, floating in the sky, you going to look up, their heart's going to be dropping.
No, man.
Heart's going to drop even more as well with those spirits of vengeance. But anyways, let's
bring up priest about and wrap it up.
Yeah, calm. So you know, just finish with Job 5 and then we can bring out yours. So Job 5 and verse 22, it says, verse 21, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So we're going to be cool, man. The Most High will give us stability of mind, especially with the wisdom and instruction, wisdom and knowledge that He's given us. Yeah. So it says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. You know, we love to bring out this scripture, man. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So in that time, we're going to be cool. The flipping lions, the gorillas, the zoo animals that would be seen as aggressive. We're going to be cool with them. Some brothers will be able to speak with them as well, because that's a form of spiritual power too.
You might be that brother, you know. You don't know about Ratazar.
We'll see in the spirit of Yahweh Shim Yahushai, man. But you know, the Most High will use brothers to surprise other brothers as well. So let me just say that. So in that time, man, you know, there's going to be a lot of things. That's why you have to maintain faith, man. Despite the pain being there, just know at the end when, because right now the world is in a comfortable position. We're the ones in discomfort and pain. It's going to be flipped in Jacob's trouble, man. Now, of course, yes, we're going to have to walk and, you know, be aware of certain things, or obviously of our surroundings and of Esau, Edom. But at the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to be looked after by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, so we ain't really going to have to worry about anything. Because remember, we've got the foresight into the future. Jake, because of their lack of foresight, they're going to be scared, saying, okay, I've got to stock up on this, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Some of them aren't even going to be able to do anything because of their state of ignorance and simplicity. So really, we got it good, man, in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'll just hold up on this. This is 2nd Esdras 2 and 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Alright, we're gonna, you know, as you said, everyone's having a good time now and we're not really enjoying, but we're gonna have a good time when it really matters. Because they're having a good time now, but ultimately it's meaningless, it's nothing. Because when that time of heaviness comes, they're gonna be in great heaviness, but we're gonna be alright, man. So it says in 28, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. So they're going to see the miracles, the divine intervention, the spiritual power, all right, us being fed in the time of famine, and then ultimately our deliverance. And guess what? They ain't going to be able to do anything against the elect, man.
Nothing.
All right, last verse. In fact, 2 more verses. It says, my hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. Alright, meaning we ain't gonna, the plagues that are gonna be happening in the world, we're gonna be surrounded by those plagues, but we're not gonna necessarily be directly impacted by those plagues, you know. Psalms 91 paints that picture perfectly, man. You know, so just keep your eyes on the prize, man. Keep focused, stay locked into the prophecies, man. Watch as well as pray. Pray for the ark and pray for the body. You know, because the pieces are falling into place, man. We're soon out of it, man. Alright. So yeah, man, with that, we're gonna wrap it up for this video. In closing, we'd like to give all praises, honor and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachal Kodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Shalom to all those listening in, man.
Shalom.